Y'all already know I gotta make a phone call. Lord have mercy, these folks. Honey, and it sent me the voicemail. Hold on. Boo boo. You don't know me. And I got connections down in the CBD. Hey, is this Brett? Child, so you done went on home, huh? Yeah, you couldn't take Olivia. I don't blame you. I would have left too. But bro, the way you just left up out of there, you was like, no, I don't think it's gonna work. And you did what? Looked at your watch. Yeah. And then, bro, you lied to Pastor Cal about them cats. It wasn't them cats. Cats scratch. That's what they do. They know how to get along. They would know how to get along. But no, you lied on the cat. How the cat doing anyway? Did you file a police report about them scratches in the face? Hi, my name is Kourtney and welcome to our channel. My husband Eddie is not here because of course he don't do Married at First Sight reviews, but he will be coming on here to give some of his commentary on the different couples. But before we get into it, let me tell you what this channel is all about. This channel is about Kourtney and Eddie. We do relationship topics, reviews, and right now I myself am doing a review on Married at First Sight. Now, before we get into that, don't forget to do what, fam? Y'all already know. Don't forget to subscribe to this amazing channel if you're watching us via YouTube, and don't forget to like and follow if you're watching us on Facebook. Could not get my words together. And on all social media sites that I post this video, make sure that you do what? Comment down below. And if y'all not in our comment section, I don't know what y'all waiting for. The comments be more enjoyable sometimes than the actual show. So I was finna say my video, but now I'm just playing. All right, you guys, so let's go ahead and get into it. So of course we know that the couples are in quarantine, right? And so it looks like yeah, they are struggling. And so filming had to abruptly stop because of the quarantine. And so production is not able to film, so they're actually doing their own filming themselves, I guess, on their cameras or whatever devices they sent to them to film on. So yeah, and I can honestly say that quarantine for a lot of married couples has been challenging, but I cannot imagine being newly married to a prior stranger and being under this much pressure to actually almost in a sense force yourselves to really get into the depths of who each other are and who you're actually married to. So I'm quite sure this was very stressful for all of them. Well, some of them. Millie and Benny, I don't know. They just having a good time. They could have stayed in quarantine forever. So it starts off with the couples are they're kind of doing their own thing, and they kind of letting you guys know that they're in quarantine. So they're filming themselves, and Amelia decided to cut her hair. You know, I guess she's tired of it, and she decided to cut her own hair because of course you can't go to the shop. And Bennett, it was revealed that Bennett likes to use one sheet of toilet tissue, just one square, just a square. I don't want to talk about that because I would probably get too graphic on how that looked like, but y'all already know how they're going to look like. Yeah, anyway. Just use a towel if you want to. Okay, anyway. All right, so she did reveal that she is moving to Richmond, Virginia. And he told her, I think she told him at that time, and they were doing something, eating popcorn, laying on their back, you know, with the cucumbers. And he was like, oh, great. And he pulled back his hand. I noticed that, you know, production shady. All right, so let's get into Woody and Amani. Y'all already know this is one of our favorite couples. Well, mine. Woody is snoring big time. He is snoring. And yeah, and when she said, oh, my husband, and he wake up and do the picture, and he is snoring hard. So yeah, he's all into that snoring. So Amani did say that she was getting her husband gifts. She did get him some gifts and stuff like that because she wanted to surprise him to now she feels like she loved him. Y'all already know she been in love with him, but she was just, I guess, too afraid to tell him, or she was trying to see exactly what was going to take place, just kind of see. And so I think somebody said it on Twitter. We kind of missed that part on what she said it. I don't know if she said it more so the introduction was more of her card. I think that's how it was, or her gifts. And so she did end up telling her husband that she loved him. And she said it was a little scary, at first, but she feels like this is the right time. And of course, things kind of went left, but they did say 2 weeks later, and Amani did ask him about, where you got some little, let's see, you got your little whores in your, and I'm going to call it like the Bible calls it, whores, whoremongers, in your DM. So let me see what you got going on in your DM. And so he was like, he felt some type of way of her invading his personal space. And so she went off, and they had some little words and arguments and stuff like that or whatever. I was like, oh, not Woody and Amani. So I think what the problem was, maybe just me looking at it, not sure if he had anything to hide, but I think that Amani got scared. When you tell somebody that you love them, that you're putting yourself in a vulnerable state, and now she may have been saying, I let my guards down. Let me check to make sure he's not doing that. Even though she said she was playing, in a sense, she probably was not playing. She's just kind of throwing that out there and saying, okay, now I told you I love you. Now you don't be going around breaking my heart, because she knows she was hurt before. So she probably said that out of feelings of fear. And she said that. And so, I think what he did was he's saying, wait a minute now, you invade my personal space. Don't, in my opinion, not saying that he didn't want to do it, but he felt like, okay, wait a minute, where this coming from? So, I can kind of understand that. Me and my husband, we don't have secrets. He can check my phone, I can check his phone. But I think where they didn't have talking before, and it was just kind of like, okay, let me check, let me see what you got going on in your DMs, and maybe the way so she now said let's move on to Christina and Henry. So they are in a place where things are a little bit awkward for them, and it seems like Henry is on one side of the couch, Christina is on the other, so they're not real close together. They kind of awkward anyway, but they just seem to be separate. There's not really much closeness and stuff like that. And also found out that Henry's celebrating his 35th birthday. Happy birthday, Henry. And he was like, yeah, Christina forgot. So yeah. How you forget your husband? But even though he tried to chalk it up for her, in her defense, of course they haven't been married long, but that's something that, you probably want to celebrate or talk about. Or maybe he didn't talk about it before. Like, tomorrow my birthday, next week my birthday, I'm excited about my birthday. So I don't think she really did anything for him. So it looks like he was just texting his friends and calling his friends and stuff like that, and I guess he was celebrating with them, so it just, yeah. Anyway, Christina took a walk. And she said, I think it was on a Sunday, she left about 2 p.m. and she told him that she was finna go for a walk. And she texted him, I think about 12 that night, and said she was going over a friend's house or something like that. And he said he don't think that she came until about 3 o'clock this morning. So it's like, ooh, okay. So I think he said he did see her stories on IG and saw that she was at a friend's house or something. So, I know Henry can be awkward, but Christina can be very deceptive. She is, we'll talk about that later on, but she seemed like she lying and stuff like that. But why is it that, I understand that this is quarantine, but why is it that you can't communicate that with Henry? If you're just saying, hey, I'm going over some friend's house and I'm gonna be out pretty late, don't wait up, blah, 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 blah. So it just seems like she complains that he's not communicating, but she also herself is not communicating as well. So it just seems like both sides are, not communicating. All right, so let's move on to Karen and Miles. Miles kissed Karen. And I don't know if y'all paid attention to this. Now, you know, like they said that, you know, all the hustle and bustle and stuff like that, and they showed Miles, and it seems like, you know, he's in a place where he really and truly wants to be affectionate with his wife. You don't have outside communication with everybody else. The person, if anything, you should have communication with is the person in your house. And so one thing I took notes on, y'all, I don't know if y'all caught this, but Miles did kiss Karen, you know, when she was leaving out. And I said, oh, it looked like he touched on the butt. Like, you know, okay, you know, have a good day or whatever. I don't know if y'all caught that, but I caught that. I wrote notes about it. And so Karen said that Miles is bored. And she's not sure if his depression is kicking in. You know, she's not sure what it even looks like, you know, because y'all know he did say that he was diagnosed with clinical depression. So she's not sure what that looks like. And she's a little bit afraid. But she also said that she is not able to even pay Miles any attention because she's mentally drained. She's physically drained. And she just focused basically on, I guess, going to work and coming home. So, yeah. That's no excuse. That's not good enough. I'm so sorry. This is something even before it was quarantine or marriage, this is something you still would have come home and make sure that your husband is straight. Like y'all talk. You should want to come home and be with your best friend. But I do understand that they're building that. But Karen, that still was no excuse. I just nope. Sorry. So now let's move on to Brett and Olivia. My favorite fun couple that tickles me. Tickle me. All right, so Brett, it seems as though that Brett is like a person that is kind of like free with his time. I forgot exactly what he does. And Olivia is a nurse. And of course, in this pandemic, she is very, very busy. So one thing that Brett did say that he noticed that one of his pet peeves is that she watches her phone. So while he's watching a movie, so she's watching her phone. And he said it's one of his favorite movies. In fact, my husband said that, you know, that's something that annoys him about me. That if it's his favorite movie, then if I start strolling through my phone, he gets a little bit annoyed. So I'm so sorry. But so yeah, so that's the one thing that, you know, he getting his feelings about, and they actually showed him walking away. But of course, we already know they're just not on the same page. They're not feeling each other. Yeah, they just not on the same page. They are living together, but they're really and truly living separate. At the same thing with Christina and Henry, you can see Brett and Olivia, one on the couch, one on this side, they on that, and it's really and truly no coming togetherness. Not even to sit down and watch movies. There's so much space between them. Olivia went home to visit her mom, and I think her mom stays out of town. One thing that Brett did, he suggests that she don't go. You know, he said you don't need. This is what he's saying. He said, you don't need to go. You're in the midst of a pandemic. You know, it's not wise for you to travel. They shut down everything, so you don't need to go. So she was concerned about her mom or her family, so she went anyway. So Brett got upset about that. Next thing you know, him and that cat, they left at the apartment. Deuces. So yeah, she said he took everything, even the food. So I guess cat had to eat. So Brett said he was gone. He said normally decision day would be now. And so he's like, he don't know what to do. He don't want to stay in this apartment by himself. Of course, he got to pay for a house over there. And he want to go home. So he was like, he out. Deuces. So yeah, she was upset when she came back, and he was like, he just left. He took everything. He even took the food out the pantry. So he said he ended up eating that food. But yeah, so she was really, truly, she was mad about that. But what can you expect, Olivia? Because you really wasn't giving a man much to work with. You kept focusing on you want to be with a man or a person that travels. You kept focusing on the money, and it's like you wasn't loosening up. You know, you put emphasis and focus on what we saw. Now, you know, a lot has to do with editing, but from what we saw, you just emphasized on just a few things, and you was not letting loose of that. You know, so it was like, I understand Brett can be something, but I think he was giving you something to work with, and you in turn kept like knocking her down. Like you wasn't giving back. It's like you kept giving a pushback. Put it like that. I don't know what to say. Yeah. So now Olivia is talking to Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper, she said that there is no communication. This is what Olivia said. There's no communication. She is explaining how she is frustrated with Brett and because he doesn't express himself. Brett does not, he does not express all of his feelings. But I think the fact that Olivia does, but to me, she expressed more of her frustration more so than feelings. I haven't seen Olivia happy after they exchange how much money they make. It's like all of her joy got sucked out of her. And I think she started focusing on, she needs somebody to travel with. All the joy got sucked out of her. So yeah, and production is so shady. So they did roll back the cameras when it seems like Brett was not expressing himself. Yeah, y'all know they shady. So yeah, he doesn't express himself, but I think also too, on the other hand, that Olivia expressed herself, but she expressed all of her frustration. When she mad, she don't like this, let's get this together, let's do this, that's all she did was complain. That's all she did was just be frustrated, irritated, aggravated. So yeah, I shut down too, wouldn't tell you nothing. So she's on the phone with Brett and she was crying and telling him, I can't believe you moved out. I thought we was trying to work on it. He said, no, I told you I was finna, no, she said, no, you said that you're just going to start taking a few of your things out and leave. He said, no. And so she said, but you left your coffee pot here. He was like, oh yeah, I forgot that. But she said, but you took all the food. He was like, I ate it. So I don't know how long she was gone to her mom's house, but in my mind, I'm thinking a weekend. I don't know. They may have said a few days. Y'all drop in the comments if y'all heard it. But I mean, how long was she gone? Dr. Pepper did say that, like, maybe you're not giving the positivity. And I just said that. I forgot I even wrote that. But you're not just giving the positivity. You're not even trying. You're not, looking at the positive side. And she asked her, are you giving up? And she was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So Dr. Kyle is talking to Brett. Brett said that he was going to move the cats back. Now, this is something that we did not hear before this. He never said anything about the cats fighting and he was going to go back home because cats can't get along. The cats get scratched in the face. I was like, ain't that what cats do? They fight. Animals do that, but then they get along or whatever, or however you got to do to make it work. But if you really love somebody, you'll work through the cats fighting, I would think. Like, the cat pay bills, cat pay rent, cat control everything. All right. It's going to be a lot of compromise, Dr. Kyle said. But Brett said the intimacy fell off. I ain't never see it back on. I ain't never see it on. Like, it must then fall far. It must then have far to go because it was on, then just fell right to the floor. If it got right there, it just, because I ain't never see it on. Yeah. Because he said that we're basically in the friend zone. And Pascal was like, are you sure? Like, y'all in the friend zone? I was like, yeah. So I think Pastor Kyle did ask him the question, if he see anything, like, are you giving up? Are you over it? So he said that, I think he said he was pretty much over. I know he told Olivia, but he was like, he's pretty much over it. So yeah, we kind of know that. So Olivia and Brett is going to talk. She don't really think that it's going to be anything good about it. She said that he's gonna try to blame her and throw it, back at her. But Brett said that his mind is pretty much made up. So yeah, and it was so funny that my husband watched this with me, and it was so funny that we had to laugh at. Brett was like, so she was like, so are we gonna try to work out? Is it gonna be over? He was like, I think it's over. So, and he looked at his watch. Bro was like, okay, gotta go. Got to tend to them cats. So yeah, like Brett was over it though. I cannot blame him for not even want to continue with the experiment. I don't know if they got money for it. I don't know if they, said, hey, if y'all hold out your contract, then you'll get paid more. I don't know. But Brett was like, this not gonna work. So I can see that. I believe Brett's feelings were very hurt when she left, and he probably felt like she just gave up, and I think Dr. Pepper said that, or somebody said that. So he don't want to move forward. Yeah, they agreed that this is the end of their marriage. So she says she's not a person that wants to give up, but yeah, to me, she was complaining too much. Nobody want to deal with all that. All right, so let's move on to Karen and Miles. Karen is talking to Dr. Pepper. And Dr. Pepper asked her, how has the quarantine affected you? Miles is doing a lot of sweet things for her. This is what she's saying. Dr. Pepper said, you feel one thing that we've been hearing, that you feel that Miles is feminine. I cannot believe she said that, or I don't know how it relayed back to them, and Dr. Pepper didn't look like she was too happy about that. She said in production, of course, they rolling back all the stuff that, that she kind of, I guess, marked as being feminine. Like he said, okay, you like to get your nails done, I'll go with you. We can get our nails done together. I'm sure he's talking about a manicure or a pedicure. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. A part where, she was like, don't you be crying. Don't you be whining. It's like, you trying to make this man to be something that he's not. So you're trying to make him be what you want him to be. If he's affectionate, that's him. If he's extra emotional, that's him. You cannot make this man to be something that he's not. And maybe that was the problem with you in the past, Karen, that the men that you had in the past was not what you needed for you. So what did you see again? Where is your daddy? Because I want to know, what did you see, and what man did you see or was in front of you as a role model on what masculinity looked like? Was it hard, stern face? You cannot cry. You always got to be working and I mean, like, what is that? Like, who displayed that before you? I went on Twitter. Of course, they always say that Karen don't want a man unless a man is bopping her upside the head or throwing her down the steps. Twitter go in. But I don't think that. I just think that her idea of masculinity is so wrong. It's warped. It's confusing. It's distorted. Shall I go on? Yeah, your idea of masculinity is so wrong. And one thing she did say, that Miles called her sis. And she was like, I had to tell him he not my girlfriend, he my husband. But at first he was a stranger. Come on, girl, let's walk this on back. At first he was a stranger. Remember, you called him that, right? And now he moved up from another level. So one thing that Miles may be doing is playing with you, in a sense, just making sure that you're happy. So he probably calling you sis because he know he don't feel like he married to a wife. Like, it may be he trying to build a friendship with you. So maybe he is calling you sis because that's what he feel like right now. So I don't think that he's being feminine. I think that he's just being funny in a sense, low-key funny. So he knows that you enjoy the joking, you enjoy the playing and stuff like this. For her to get on camera and to cry that Dr. Pepper was like, I really should. Karen be, y'all, I had high hopes for them, and I still am, but Karen she putting some doubt there for me. She putting some doubt. And Karen started crying because she said that Miles don't feel like she's trying. And now Miles is standing up for himself. And he said that if this was decision day, he said that he wouldn't want to be married to her. I don't blame him. I don't blame him, because it seems like Miles' feelings are getting neglected. His wants are getting neglected. And it just feels like she's stomping all over his feelings. Like, dude got feelings too. It's not about you. I think Dr. Pepper said that we hear that everything has to be about you. It's about your feelings and what you want and your desires. This man is cleaning for you when you at work. He's cleaning it. Make sure you got tub. I think he said he was running your bath water, making sure that the food is cooked, making sure the clothes washed, all this stuff. He's doing this stuff for you. And then he don't feel appreciated. Y'all on the couch, he got his hand on you just to show signs of affection and touching, and you not touching him back. He's doing certain stuff and he just gets tired of it. And I do not blame him for getting in this. This quarantine had to take him for really and truly standing up for himself, because he was like, nah, everything coming off, because we can't go nowhere. So I got to work through this. So it's day 73. So Miles and Pastor Cal are talking. Miles said that he thought that the quarantine would be fun, that they would kind of chill together, watch movies together, do what needs to be done, kind of build that relationship. But he said it didn't. And production said that, and they showed this because he said, and it wasn't, because the stuff when he was like, he was talking to Karen, oh man, this should be fun, day whatever, in the quarantine, blah blah blah, whatever. And he was like, aren't you excited? She said, I'm glad we got another bedroom. Just her sarcasm. It became too much, and it becomes too much, because it's like you got to stop the level of playing and really and truly get down to, do you really like this man? Do you really want to be with him? So yeah, production showed all her little shadiness when she was really and truly just blowing him off, rolling her eyes, saying smart stuff. And I know they play like that, but sometimes I think Karen be serious. So he's not sure if she wants to be with him. He said he want to be cared for. Pastor Cal said he said that she don't kiss him. She don't do any of that. And no, excuse me. Pastor Cal did say, is there intimacy? And he said, no, they have not had sex yet. He was like, wow, really? He was like, no. He said, was there any kind of level of intimacy? Have y'all kissed? He said, over the relationship, the times that they've been together, they have kissed, a couple of times or whatever. But, so Miles is pretty much fed up. And we all with him. Twitter is so with him. He got fans on Twitter. Miles said that, he wants to know, why is he here? Karen is still bothered by him being not masculine. That's the thing. He was like, I'm very masculine. When she told me that, or someone said about that, he said, I was offended, very offended. And Pascal like, yeah, a real man would be offended. He was like, I'm not feminine, so like, he said, like, her idea of masculinity, y'all, she gonna make me pull that ponytail out. This is my hair. I ain't going nowhere but down here. But she gonna make, because I really and truly just don't understand. It's like she needs some deep therapy, y'all. She needs some therapy, because this is really and truly not making sense how she's degrading this man and his masculinity. Like, who teaches her? Who taught her what masculinity should look like? She's not a man. And evidently the men in her life have been polar opposite and have not been good for her. Again, what does her daddy look like? And what has he taught his daughter? Y'all, I'm going to call Karen daddy. All right, so Karen and I sit down and talk. And she basically says that she wants to work on this marriage. It was so low. It was really hard to hear them. They should have put the words down at the bottom, but it really was hard to understand them at this point. But she said she really truly wants to work on it. Miles said, he wants to work on it too. I didn't write much because it was hard to hear. All right, so moving on to Amelia talks to Dr. Pepper. Y'all, Amelia and Bennett are doing so good. They have their little bumps, but they're doing great. To me, Woody and Amani are doing great. So the problem couples are the other three. Well, two, because the other man no longer. All right, so Dr. Pepper asks Amelia, it seems to be like you guys are happy. Everything's going good. So she said, yeah, she's happy. She really truly is happy with her husband. That's a perfect match for them. And she said that she did say that she's moving to Richmond. And hopefully they'll find a good resolve, because it seems like Dr. Pepper saying that you need to talk to your husband about this. Y'all are not talking. You know, I understand y'all in, you know, this love mode and everything is going good, but y'all really and truly need to conversate and talk about, you know, you moving. You got to sit down and talk about it. And and make sure that you tell Bennett so y'all can get this on the table, because you don't want to keep pushing it off, you know, let's talk about it. So Pastor Kyle meets with Bennett, and of course the same thing, you know, things are going good, they in love and everything is great. So he did ask about children, and he said, well, children is not an easy conversation for them. And like somebody on Twitter said, Bennett know that now he got to get a job or bring in more income, you know, having a child. And he said that he wants to wait at least 5 years, and Amelia did say that he said that, but she wants to have children, I guess, in the next couple of years. But it looks like they kind of decided that they're going to wait on that. So Pastor Kyle did say, so are you thinking about moving to Virginia? You know, that's the big question. And he's like, did y'all see Pastor Kyle laugh? He was like, yeah. So he's like, no, don't know. Like, so Amelia and Bennett have their sit down conversation, and they said that they want to wait to, you know, later on to have children. They'll wait on that. And he did announce that he will split between Virginia and New Orleans. So, you know, he's going to make the split. So she's very hopeful of that, and she's very happy that, you know, he is compromising, and hopefully that, you know, she's thinking that hopefully he'll like it there, and they'll move there and they'll live happily ever after. So hopefully it works out for them. All right, so let's move on to Henry and Christina. I don't think we had that much longer, because, yeah. Henry and Christina and they issues, honey. And they issues. So did y'all notice that Dr. Pepper looking like a little ghost up there, the lighting and the bookshelf and all that stuff, whatever. But anyway, that was just my observation. So Christina's talking to Dr. Pepper. First of all, she looked mad. So maybe she shouldn't have had that laptop down there, because she's looking like she's looking down at people like that. Mm-hmm. She's trying to figure out what is going on. Those are her words. During the week, he works from home. So I guess he goes home to his home to work, you know, work from home. I guess he got all of his stuff there. And she said he goes to the store sometimes twice a week or twice a day, and he seems to be gone a long time. She said one thing he can do is bring us back some flowers. I'm sure he passed the flowers. Girl, y'all is not in flower mode. Y'all even holding hands. So no, y'all is not Amani and Woody. You won't be getting them flowers. Y'all need to get some good old counseling individually or something. So no, forget the flowers. So Dr. Pepper said, have you opened up to him? And she was like, well, I try to, you know, and, you know, it's just, I try to, and I just don't get it. I just don't know, you know, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know where we're going with this. It's just, oh my gosh, it's just, I just don't, and you know, here he is. Well, and she, I just don't know. Both of them don't know. All right. So she said, you know, sometimes you have to give a man a roadmap. So give him a roadmap, kind of, you know, lead him the way that, you know, but I'll let Dr. Pepper say it, child. You could have kept it. So here we're talking to Pastor Kyle. And so he said, so what is the top issue? Like, what is the issue between you and Christina? Henry said that I don't have things that, first of all, we don't have things in common. We can sometimes sit down and watch a movie or watch some and not talk for an hour and a half. Yeah, that's not good, because I will talk through a movie or say something, you know, but they need to communicate. Y'all don't need to be watching that. Y'all need to cut the TV off and talk. But of course, anyway, one thing that, you know, I told y'all, y'all could thank me later. Hit up my Cash App, because this girl had already told y'all Christina had no place to stay. And that bothers some. That was bothering some to Henry. So y'all people in the comments that were saying, well, you know, she's a flight attendant. She don't have to have no designated places. Everybody should have a place to stay. Like, I don't care whether it's with your mother or relatives or something, but where your mail go? P.O. box? I mean, you got to have somewhere, you know. You ain't going to be flying 365 days out the week. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, but he did notice that, you know, she was a little bit dishonest. So Pascal was like, oh, really? He said, yeah, her living situation. She said that she stayed at the CBD. I said it right, y'all. Then he said, then she stayed at an Airbnb. Okay, she like these and B's and B's and D's and B's. So he was like, you know, I don't know where she stayed. Cause then she was like, well, since, you know, we doing this, you know, I'm here. So what she say? No. So Pascal said, have you tried to talk to her? And Pascal said, you got to fight for this marriage. If this is what you want, you got to fight for. So, of course, you know, he also noticed, you know, he talked about her, you know, leaving out late and then come back. Leaving out, you know, at noon and then come back to late. So those are things that, you know, Henry said that, you know, needs to talk about. Oh, he said here he asked Henry the same question, but Henry said he don't know if they can work it out. So I think Henry is trying, but in a sense he's kind of over it. So Christina and Henry sit down to talk, y'all. This when she tried to play him, and he fell for the okie doke. So Henry said that, you know, one thing I want to say, you know, but she sat down and she said, I'm very hopeful because Dr. Pepper told me some things to do, and, you know, I'm trying to work on that. So yeah, let's go on, let's talk. Okay. So Henry said, well, first of all, you lied. Oh, she wasn't expecting that. You didn't tell me exactly, you know, where do you live? You know, you first told me that you stayed at CBD. And she was like, who, me? Oh, I didn't say that. Say you did. You know, I got people, I got witnesses. So Henry came with receipts, y'all. Henry got some receipts. So Henry said, yes, I got witnesses. And I think he said production and everything. So yeah, he was ready for it. Don't trip, girl. I'm going to show you. So Henry said that, yeah, I've talked to people. So you did say that. And she was like, oh, I did. I said no. At that time, I said at the CBD. I'm like, girl, that was just not too long ago when y'all got married. So he asked you, where did you live at? And then when you got ready to move in, that switched. In a matter of 2 weeks, you didn't, 2 weeks, a week or whatever, like you done switched. Okay. So she got very defensive because she already knew she was caught into a lie. She started to cry and she was like, well, I just don't know. I'm so sorry. I just feel like you don't want me, and I don't know what to do, and it feels like I'm not gonna change your mind about the situation. So she starts to cry, and what I was talking to Dr. Pepper about, I just don't want to talk about that anymore. You know, I'm just not gonna do what Dr. Pepper said. She don't even remember what Dr. Pepper said because she floored by the fact that he called her a lie or caught her in a lie. So Henry said, well, you know, when she said all that, you know, I feel like you don't want me and all that stuff. Because at first, him was like, oh, yeah, he was looking. Did y'all hear that production played crickets? When he was like, the crickets, whatever crickets noise make, whatever. Yeah, the crickets was in the background. I don't know if y'all paid attention to that. Henry said, so, you know, I still feel like it's something there. No, Henry, you ain't got to backtrack because of her tears. Because like somebody on Twitter said, honey, she had to force them tears out. She just really, truly, it was all deflecting. She was totally deflecting. She got defensive. She could not believe it. I'm just getting up, walking her barefooted self feet in the other room or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. Because he was like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. So she left and went in the other room. She walked down that way and then she went back the other way. I don't know what she was. She said, I don't want to go to the bathroom. No, I don't want to go to the bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom. She don't know. And let me make this clear, because I was about to say it again. For the person that told me I should not make fun of people that are on medication, let me say this. Christina said out of her own mouth, the reason that she was frantic and acting the way she was acting the last time, because she realized that she was not on her medicine. And I said she need to get back on it because she acting like that again. I'm not going to make fun of somebody's mental illness or make fun of somebody's condition or something like that. But if you said, I'm acting like this because I ain't on my medicine, I'm just going to remind you, hey girl, get back on your medicine because you're acting like that again. That's all I am. That's all I'm doing. That's one thing I do want to say, that I don't come on here and do reviews to bash anybody, talk down about anybody. But whatever you give out on them cameras, I'm gonna commentate on it. Now, one thing I do realize, or in my mind, is that these are characters. Yes, I do understand that this is reality TV, but I also look at this as being a sitcom of characters. Why? Because production and the team of people, they will add their own stuff in it to create whatever narrative they want to for us to watch and for us to commentate on and for us to rate and for us to review. So that's why. So sometimes, yes, I do look at you guys as being characters because that's what you are. But then some of them don't need much help because some of you are real characters without the production and all the editing and all the stuff that they do behind the scenes. Wanted to make that clear. Should have been made that clear. All right, so now let's move on to Woody and Amani. So they're sitting down talking to Dr. Pepper. Well, Amani is talking to Dr. Pepper, and basically, they in heaven, honey. So she said that she thought that it would be awkward because she asked her how's it going and everything. She said, well, she thought it would be awkward, but she said, but it's not. She's really and truly, she's loving being married to her husband, and for the first time, she finds out that she loves him, and she said it. But she's trying to find out how she stay in love. That's the thing. Amani said it made her mad when they did talk about the DMs and stuff like that. It kind of made it feel like he was hiding something from her. But she said they did get a chance to talk about it, and they're in a good place with that. So yeah. She said that she wants to wait to have kids, but he don't, she want to wait and see. And naturally, when you first just got married, you want to wait and see, enjoy each other first, especially y'all was strangers before. You want to enjoy each other. You want to enjoy life together. You want to travel, the stuff that Olivia wanted to do with her husband. You want to travel. You want to see the world together and get to know each other before you actually bring a child into the world. Pastor Cal was talking to Woody, and he said, well, what are the downsides of marriage? And he was like, really ain't no downsides. He said that he enjoyed being married to his wife. He think that the experts did a great job in hooking them up. He is, they just perfect for each other. He's showing up every day and to be the man that he said he was going to be and be the man for his wife. So of course they got him, showing him, giving her flowers and doing all this stuff for her. So yeah, I like me some Woody and Amani. Okay, so but they did talk about the DMs and stuff like that, and he was like, I feel like it was invading my space, my personal space, and I think even as married couples, we should all have our personal space. Your personal, social medias and stuff like that, that's fine. Just as long as you're trustworthy and you trust each other. So it shouldn't be that, hey, let me check your DMs to see it. But I do understand that, again, Amani was a little afraid. She had already been vulnerable with this man. So she's just trying to make sure she cover her track, make sure ain't nothing going on or she ain't getting played. I think that's what that was. Yeah, one thing that he did say is that one thing when it comes to arguments that Woody said that he brushes off things kind of easily because he don't like confrontation. He don't want to get into it. So Pascal was like, well, that cannot be a good thing. So you kind of need to work on that. You're going to have to sit down and have some conversations and talk about some things. So don't just brush things off. So they did talk about having a child. And so Pascal words said, you going without a jacket. So Pascal was laughing. Woody was laughing like, Pascal, I know you didn't say that. So he was like, nah, they taking precautions that, he not planning on going nowhere with, this is wife, this who he want to be with forever. So he don't plan on going nowhere. But now they taking precautions, not trying to have children right now. So yeah, I thought that was great. But yeah, let me tell you what the shady Twitter did. Y'all seen Woody looking back at that mirror. Y'all know Woody think he the flyest thing. Flied in Delta, flied in Southwest, flied in Spirit. Yes, he is fly. So somebody on Twitter said that he was looking like he stepped out the 90s or something like that. Hey, his dress and his taste, if Amani love it, hey, that's all that matters. He kind of, soul, I guess you could say. All right, so Woody and Amani get in, sit down and talk about, they each had their counseling with the doctors and or with the counselors and stuff. So they sit down and talk, and they was talking about, he wants to have a Scorpio baby. That would be me. So baby's born around October. That would be me. Y'all know my birthday is October 29th. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. So yeah. So they want to plan for that. She was like, you can't just plan to have a Scorpio baby. She said, but we can do the Scorpio puppets and stuff like that. So they had their cute little session, sit down talking to each other, and they both said that they're not scared anymore. And one thing that he did say, but he is scared that he's not going to be the guy. He's not going to be the guy for her, like fully meet her potential. So she was like, you know, why? What makes you think that? He was like, you know, and I think that's just a level of insecurity. He want to make sure that he come up and, you know, make sure that he be the man that she really truly wants and needs. And so she was like, one thing about it, that you enough. You will always be enough for me. So I thought that was cute. And I still hope that they're married, and I hope that they stay married forever and ever have cute little chocolate, little brown little kids running around, because they just got beautiful skin tones. So now let's get to this part right here. Why I say she is not on her medication for ADHD. That's the med she said that she's not on. Yeah. That she, you know, when she get off, she get a little haywire. So it seemed like she done got off, so she a little haywire. So she, so Henry came and said on the camera that, you know, well, you know, he wanted to sit down and talk with Christina. It seems like she's not home as much as she used to be, and at their apartment. And she said it seems like she is accusing him of cheating. He was like, you know, like, I guess spending time, you know, going to the grocery. He said, yeah, I do like to go to the grocery store. You know, sometimes I really truly don't want to come home. You know, it's so awkward at home. So I spend time outside with people, socializing or at the grocery store or doing whatever. So he was like, yeah, it may take me, I take the long way home. I was like, ooh, Jesus, taking the long way home already? It's just been a couple of months since y'all been together. So yeah, you already out, bro. And so he said, so yeah, so she's trying to once again come up with something so that she can blame Henry, because she probably don't want to be known as a failure for not completing the task. So she think that he's cheating, and she said that she even got text messages of him with a source. Child, please, there wasn't no source on it. Probably your friend. A source saying that, you know, he was in a homosexual relationship with somebody or something like that or whatever. So anyway, Christina just go sit down somewhere. So anyway, they're gonna talk about it next week and stuff like that. And so in my opinion, the reason Christina don't want to leave because she ain't got nowhere to stay. So she's trying to go and work this out, decision day or whatever. Let's just, you know, pan it on out. Let's just see it all the way through, because by that time, I'll be found me somewhere to stay. That's where I see it. All right. On that note, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. If you're watching us via YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to this amazing channel. And if you're watching us via Facebook, make sure that you hit like and follow. And on all social media sites, comment down below. All right, you guys, let me go ahead and get out of here. It is late, and I'm going to bed. All right, you guys, I will see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to go with God and let God go with you. Deuces.